Now we're joined by Kaiser Ankerstom, who's a human rights activist based in London. She's been taking part in direct action protests against Elbit systems with Palestinian Action. Prior to this, Ankerstom also worked with the International Solidarity Movement in the occupied West Bank. Now, Kaiser, let's start with this company, which is in Britain, Elbit Systems. I mean, this is an Israeli-owned company. It has 8 sites in Britain, including one where it builds drones in Leicestershire, drones which are, I presume, being used now in Gaza. So tell us something about this.
So it's no secret that Elbit Systems is operating in the UK. They even mention on their website all the sites that they manufacture from. Palestine Action has managed to close one factory in Oldham called Ferranti Technologies and cost Elbit Systems £260 million in Ministry of Defence contracts which were lost because Elbit could no longer keep those sites secure because activists were entering into those sites and dismantling the terrorist infrastructure and rendering these factories inoperable for up to 2 weeks. They also forced the headquarters in London to close by repeatedly blockading the entrances of the building. They even got on top of the building one time and they've been exposed. Their sites are readily available online, and Palestine Action will continue to take direct action to close Israeli arms manufacturers down. You can go online at www.palestineaction.org and join up to one of their workshops to find out how to take direct action against Elbit Systems in the UK.
Well, Elbit manufactures 85% of Israel's drone fleet. And drones are being used to a murderous effect in this war in Gaza, both now and previously in 2021, haven't they?
They have, that's right. Elbit repeatedly tests its weapons upon the Palestinian population. Every time that Israel goes to bombard the Gaza Strip, they are readily working alongside the Israeli army, developing weapons and marketing them as battle-tested across the world. We've seen that their lethality is not precise. We're seeing that in the increasing amount of civilian casualties in Gaza.
And I mean, Israel has got a huge, it calls it a defense industry, a military industry, which now means that Israel is one of the largest exporters of arms in the world. But also, from what I can understand with Elbit, you're also seeing the expansion of that Israel manufacturing capacity into the United Kingdom and I would guess other countries as well in the West. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's manufacturing in Europe, it's manufacturing in the US, it's manufacturing here in Britain, and also I believe in Australia. Palestine Action has now gone global. There are actions being taken in Europe, America, and in Australia, as well as Britain. So, I mean, we're all seeing what Israel is capable of and what damage it can inflict upon the Palestinian population with these weapons and these drones. And we can't have autonomous flying death machines that nobody can be held responsible for using these machines and killing human beings. Like, there is no other sadistic kind of company out there as sadistic as the arms company. I mean, they're literally perfecting lethality with every single piece of machinery that they have, and we have to stop this because it's not going to end here. It's not going to end here.
Well, we're just going to watch this report on Elbit Systems, and I'll come back to you to discuss it further. We're joined once more by Kaiser Ankerstom from Palestine. That was a successful action. I mean, tell us a little bit more about it.
Yes, it was multiple actions that forced Ferranti to sell, Elbit to sell. There was multiple occupations, rooftop occupations. There was regular community protests at the factory, and police were there basically 24/7. And I believe that these protests were going on for well over a year before before the factory actually closed. I was involved myself in a rooftop occupation in Leicester at UAV Engines, which is a subsidiary of Elbit Systems. And we actually occupied the roof for a whole day and proceeded to dismantle the factory from the outside. And we actually forced that factory to close for 2 weeks, and they were unable to make deadly Israeli drones during that time. So, you know, we need more people to join Palestine Action in order to continue to take consistent direct action against Elbit in this country to close them down. And I would urge people to go online at www.palestineaction.org and sign up to one of their workshops to take direct action against Elbit Systems.
I mean, we've also seen protests against the British Barclays Bank, which has been accused of owning shares in Israel's war crime. I mean, again, that with Israel heading towards the International Court of Justice next week because of charges of genocide, there is an argument that there must be a potential complicity in Israeli war crimes for these companies, Elbit's UK subsidiary, for Barclays Bank, and so on.
Yes, not only are they complicit, they know what's happening in Gaza. They know where this money is going and what it's used for. So we have to force them to divest from Israel's apartheid project.
Now, you were, as part of the international solidarity movement, you were in the West Bank. Can you tell us a little about your own experiences in the occupied West Bank?
That's right. I went over 5 times in the past 6 years. I volunteered along the Palestinian community, picking olives at the olive harvest, attending demonstrations against the Israeli army, helping Palestinians to access land which has been taken by Israel, and advocating for Palestinians wherever possible. We're also counting numbers of Palestinian children going